All right. After a very disappointing weekend at UFC Vegas 99, with Anthony Hernandez and Michelle Pereira absolutely being a fraud in the middleweight division, once thought to be entering a new prime, I think we now know is just shit. All right. But now it's time for what is likely to be one of the best cards in the entire year, And I think I think a lot of people shit on this year for cards, and I think it's mainly because of the fight nights having shitty results, and I think a lot of the cards so far have lackluster main events. This one is looking to be a banger, alright? And I'm just here to make my predictions, picks, for fun. I don't gamble, I don't bet, I don't think you should bet. Betting is a way to ruin lives and not a reliable source of income, just saying. But you can bet if you want, I just choose not to. So think about that when I make a prediction here. I'm not looking to make people money here, I'm just here picking who I think genuinely wins based off my knowledge of watching UFC over the years that I have. Now, with all that being said, getting into the predictions, we have Rafael that versus Ibo Asian. Now, okay. I don't know anything about either of these two. I think I remember Ibo. So I'm going with Ibo. He's tested against Turkolage, whatever his fucking name is. And this other guy is just like, oh, I just can't with these fucking people who just randomly show up. The Lion. All right, what do we got here? Okay. He's fought bums. He's finishing all these bums, to be fair. Huh. But he's 33. That's what I don't like to see. 33 and you're entering the UFC? 34, sorry. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ibo still. Just seems like Rafael's only fought cans. Ibo's at least fought a UFC level opponent. Ibo might not have the greatest looking record. 13-1. It's not like terrible by any means, but definitely no 11-0. But at least Ibo has fought someone in the UFC. So I'm going with Ibo Asian. Probably like a slot. I think this might be a sloppy decision, and this might be one of those, like, Rafael just looks like he just doesn't have it in him, I think that'll probably be what this is, just based off all the first round finishes. This is light heavyweight. Yeah, I think this will get sloppy. I think we're looking at like a gassing out in round 3, and then they just fucking look at each other in round 3 and then finish with a decision. Probably Ibo Asian, whatever his name is. Moving on, we got Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo. Now, I think we all know the Basharat brothers are no longer the invincible wall that I think they were, thanks to Javid losing. Farid, however, I think he's actually the worst of the two. I think some people rate Farid a little higher than Javid, but I think Javid's got a better style. He has that same problem where he just doesn't know how to, like, go, and a lot of new fighters are having this problem where they just don't know when to just go, but Farid still he's not bad, but I mean, Victor Hugo isn't good, so I mean, there's that. So I'm going with Farid. I don't know what the odds are, but because it's Farid Basharat, I'm gonna guess the odds are like crazy, like in favor of Farid. I think Farid probably gets it done by decision. Yeah. I think he'll probably get it done by decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Victor Hugo gets it, because, like, the Fareed Basharat brothers, I think, have lost a lot of their mental after that loss, but we'll see. You know, 2 canceled fight this year is a little suspect, you know, that's all I gotta say. Anyways, moving on, we got Kennedy Nizinchukwu versus Justin Tafa. Am I crazy, or is this supposed to be Chris Barnet? Huh. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Okay, assuming this is Justin Tafa, I'm gonna go with... Why do... Oh, I hate heavyweight fights, man. Like, what the fuck is this? If you don't know, I hate the Tafa brothers. I think they're literally some of the worst heavyweights to ever grace this planet. But Kennedy Nizinchukwu somehow turned off his brain against a young 84-year-old Ovince St. Preux, who is now retired. I don't know. Oh, why do I have to pick this fucking fight, man? It's such a like, oh my fucking god. You literally have like a dumbass who has every physical advantage, who just doesn't have brain cells, and then you have a fat, overweight, fat fuck who's you know, Fatty McFatterton, and gasses out in the first 4 minutes. More cardio than Michelle Pereira, funnily enough, but not by much. Like, I don't even... Fuck. Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm gonna go with Justin Tafa. Only because maybe he gets a first round KO. Where Kennedy Nizinchukwu, I think he's just bad everywhere. And him going to heavyweight, I think just screams him being even shittier than he thought. Every physical advantage. So I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow gets a decision 29-28 here. Because I think Justin Tafa would probably win around 1. But the Tafa brothers are shit. I'm going with Justin Tafa. Probably by first round KO. And if he doesn't get it, it's GG's for Justin Tafa. And both Tafa brothers. Cut them both. Like, even if he wins, just cut them both, man. I don't want to see these fat fucks. Anyways. Moving on to real fights. Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. If you don't know, I'm very high on Bruno Ferreira. I don't know what the odds are here. I really like Bruno Ferreira. I picked him in every fight so far. He's one of the first fighters I actually watched back when he knocked out Gregory Rodriguez. So that might be a little tell that I'm a little newer to the game. But, yeah, I like Bruno Ferreira. I think he's sloppy, but he has all the tools in a toolbox, and that's what I like to see. Like, he has grappling if he needs it. He was, you know, he was beating the fuck out of Phil Hawes on the feet. And I know it's like, well, Phil Hawes has no chin. Phil Hawes is a good striker, though. And normally he's winning a fight, and then he gets chinned. Bruno Ferreira was whooping his ass, and then chinned him. You know what I mean? I kind of really like that. He even took Phil Hawes down, and Phil Hawes, I think, is also, like, a decent grappler. So, I rate Bruno Ferreira pretty highly. His only loss, I think, is to Nolson Ruziboev. Nolson Ruziboev. This was just an early round chinning, I think. It was just an unfortunate thing, I guess. But I do rate Bruno Ferreira very, very highly. Like, very highly. Like, I think this guy is probably middleweight tier. We're talking, like, top 5. I think Bruno Ferreira could make it. Now, I know he's getting a little older, but he just entered prime age. You know, he's got a disadvantage, but he's always at a disadvantage in these fights. Abus, notoriously, doesn't have third round cardio. So, I think Bruno Ferreira, even though he's a little sloppy, and I think round 3, if it makes it there, will get very, very messy. I think Bruno Ferreira probably finishes Abus in round 2. I could see submission. I'm leaning towards a TKO, maybe ground and pound. Abus just kind of... He's a one-rounder bust guy, you know what I mean? Like, he's very much... Like, you beat Wally Alvarez, wow, you know what I mean? Like, Yeah, he's a one-rounder bus guy for sure. And I think Bruno Ferreira is a little bit more than round one. I think it is a bad matchup because Bruno Ferreira doesn't really... Like, Bruno Ferreira leaves himself open a lot in round one. But I think he'll still be good enough to beat Abus. I think round two, if not a 29-28 decision. That'd be my guess. But round two finish, probably TKO. I could see a submission though. Moving on. Really like that fight. Moving on, for middleweights. Bantamweight, Said Nurmagomedov versus Daniel Santos. I've been saying it for a while. Daniel Santos, I think, is extremely overrated. I think a lot of people rate this guy way too... Wait, is this guy I'm thinking of? No, it's not the guy I'm thinking of. Oops. Who the fuck is... Who? Johnny Munoz. Why am I just, like, gapping on who this is? I forgot... maybe I'm thinking of Daniel Pineda? Okay, this changes things. I don't like this inactivity. Why is this your first fight in the year in October? What are you doing? One fight last year? And you're fighting cans. I don't know. I like Said. I'm not a, like, big Nurmagomedov glazer, but Said's actually, like, got the good gene from his brothers, I guess you can say. And he's actually a striker. I know he mixes in the grappling sometimes, but he's definitely mainly a striker. I'm leaning Said. I think Said's clean, and I think he's been robbed. Like, he's got 3 losses, but at least one of them is a robbery as far as I'm concerned. Jonathan Martinez, yeah, beat Muin Gafarov. Which one was it? I think it was this one, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought Said beat the shit out of Jonathan Martinez. And Jonathan Martinez isn't, like, dog shit by any means. So, I'm going with Said Nurmagomedov. I think he gets it done probably by decision. I mean, he's still on Nurmagomedov. Sucks. Decision is just in his genes. But at least he's got that striking warrior blood. Daniel Santos just... I don't remember a lot of his fights, but from what I'm seeing, he's inactive for no reason. He's young. He's canceling fights. I don't like that. I really, really don't like that. And this might be him just taking it because he needs a paycheck at the end of the year. Said, I think, is actually trying to be something, and, he's got to prove to his brothers that he can, be accepted in the gym still, you know what I mean? And he probably is tired of mopping all those floors. Anyways, moving on, we got Mateusz Rebecki versus Orobai. I'm just terrible at pronouncing names, I'm not gonna lie. This is a very interesting fight. By the way, I don't look at odds. I don't look at most of the card until I start the video, just because I think it's fun that way. Ooh, I really like Mateusz Rebecki. This one's hard. He did get knocked out, didn't he? Wow. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Don't like to see that. Orobai is good. But I think he's overrated. Like, are we really rating Els Brenner? And Uros Medic, I think, is aging pretty poorly. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm gonna go with Mateusz Rebecki. I think Mateusz Rebecki is just more tested, more experienced, and I think he's gonna showcase that. Is Orobai really good? Yeah. But I'm trusting Rebecki here. I like Rebecki. I like his style. He's pretty good kind of everywhere. But I think it's definitely gonna be a close fight. Wow, that's on the okay. I think it's a close fight though. And I think one of them gets a finish. But I think Rebecki stays in the game. Big height disadvantage and a big reach disadvantage here, but I think Mateusz Rebecki is still pretty good. Maybe this is his, like, showcase of, like, Orobai is gonna take over, but I'm not sensing this dominance that a lot of people sense in Orobai, Like, yeah, he submitted Uros Medic, but I don't know, to me, like, Uros Medic is just aging poorly, he's not doing that well anymore, It was just kind of one of those hype train derails that happens, So, I think Rebecki might be able to, fraud check Orobai here. So I'm trusting Rebecki here. I think probably decision, now that I'm thinking about it. I think he'll probably tough it out a nice 29-28. A lot of decisions, I'm thinking, happen early on here. A little disappointing, but is what it is. But yeah, Mateusz Rebecki, I think gets it done. Probably by decision, 30-27, 29-28. I know he's getting his ass whooped in his last fight, but it was just a bad showcase. You know, I can still trust him to try to get this done. You know, unranked lightweights, you know, lightweight's a little bit of a beast of a division. You know, I think Rebecki's going to come back strong. Moving on, Jeff Neal versus RDA. This one's hard, man, because Jeff Neal just doesn't have brain cells in that thick skull of his anymore, you know? And it really sucks, because if he had even one brain cell, he would have been able to, you know, beat a Ian Gary, because Ian Gary had absolutely fucking nothing and decided to pull guard. Or no. Did he pull guard? Nah, I think I'm thinking of MVP. But yeah, Jeff Neal just held him against the cage and did nothing. Like, knees to the thigh, I think we all know that just instantly wins you the round now, apparently. So I think Jeff Neal just doesn't have him in him to win fights, you know? And this is hard because RDA, listen, man, RDA had a good showing against, what's his name? Gamrot, you know, his last showing out. And I know RDA is RDA, right? And he's 40 years old. I think RDA might be able to win here. I'm not gonna lie. This is like a perfect opportunity for Jeff Neal to come back. You know, knocking out RDA or something. But like, Jeff Neal's just getting older now, and he's so inconsistent. Like, I just can't trust Jeff Neal. You know, at least I could trust RDA to try to win the fight. You know, and he might get held up against the cage because he doesn't have as much muscle. But I could trust RDA to, like, get something going, you know? Or at least have a game plan, you know? Jeff Neal just doesn't seem to have anything going upstairs anymore, you know? I think it's going to make Shavkat look a little less invincible as well if RDA gets this win here. So I'm trusting RDA to get it done. I bet he's probably an underdog. I think he gets it done. Probably... I'm thinking like a split 29-28 here, you know? I think RDA gets it done. RDA just didn't look that bad in his last fight for a 40-year-old, you know, against Gamrot. And I would, like, who's got better grappling and is better at holding people? RDA, or sorry, Jeff Neal or Gamrot? I think Gamrot's got that, you know? So, and he wobbled the fuck out of Gamrot. To be fair, everyone does. But I'm picking RDA. I think RDA can get it done. I just don't think Jeff Neal has it, like, in his brain anymore. You know, I'm sensing a little bit of that brain damage affecting him a little too much. So it is what it is. Moving on. Wow. Sharaputtin's put up on the main card over Jeff Neal? Are you serious? Wow. Anyways, unranked middleweights. Anyways, Sharaputtin... Magomedov versus Armen Petrosyan. I'm going with Sharaputtin. I mean, that's obvious. Armen Petrosyan is shit. Sharaputtin is at least good. Now, Armen Petrosyan, I know he doesn't do it. But if he came in with a grapple-heavy game plan here, I think he'd win. I'm not going to lie. Because I think Sharaputtin will lose to anyone who actually grapples. Now, that being said, I think Shara is just like a master on the feet, and Armen Petrosyan is dog shit on the feet. Really overrated on the feet. I know he's a striker, but he's not that great. So I think Sharaputtin probably wins. Honestly, as shitty as it sounds, I think he wins by decision. You know, Sharaputtin seems to not have that crazy power. And Armen Petrosyan, I don't think is impossible to put away, but I just don't think Sharaputtin really has that snap. I mean, I could see like a crazy kick finish, but that's about it. I don't think he's gonna like jab knock his ass out. You know what I mean? So I think Sharaputtin gets it done. Probably a 30-27 dominantly. Probably not even fucking close. My opinion, but yeah, Sharaputtin 30-27. I think he just outclasses him on the feet. Moving on, we got light heavyweight Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. Very interesting fight here. Ooh. Now, this card I might not do well on, but I'm going with Rakic. I'm going with Rakic. Magomed Ankalaev, a lot of people are like, it's the bane of Alex Pereira's existence. I think this is where Rakic knocks Magomed Ankalaev out, and then we see somebody else get the title shot. You know, I think that's what's gonna happen, because it feels almost too perfect for Ankalaev to win this and then get a title shot. I think we're due for a little bit of karma on Ankalaev, you know? He had that draw a little while ago, so I think it's now time for Rakic to get a KO here, not gonna lie. I do think he gets a KO. I think it's a late KO, probably third round, maybe second round. Rakic is really fucking good, and Rakic literally had a perfect fight against Yuri. So I think if he can do that again, like if he can show that he can do to that same level again, I think he wins. Magomed Ankalaev does not do well with leg kicks, and I think we saw that with Jan Blachowicz. I don't think he's ever been tested in the leg kick department other than that fight. And Magomed Ankalaev, I know he's a Magomed, right? But he's a striker. I know he occasionally shoots a takedown, but he's not taking you down to finish you there. He's taking you down to kind of win the round on a takedown. You know what I mean? I think Rakic is going to be able to chew up the leg, and I think we're going to see, like, Magomed fucking slip in. His legs are going to go at some point. You know, I think he's just going to be wincing at every single leg kick, and that's where Rakic is just going to take over. You know, I think Ankalaev might get one round, but I think Rakic is just going to... I think he's just going to fucking destroy this guy. I think he's going to make Magomed Ankalaev look like he doesn't even belong. Because another thing with Ankalaev, he doesn't have finishing potential. Like, wow, you knocked out Johnny Walker? Congrats, you know? He only fought once last... Yo, this guy's a bum, bro. I don't care. Yeah, the draw to Johnny Walker when he need him legally, to be fair. And that should have been Magomed's win there. That was fucked up. But he's not a finisher, man. Like, he knocked out Smith and Walker in the past 2 years, you know? Like... in 3 years, his knockouts are Smith and Walker. He's not a finisher. Yuri is a finisher, you know? At least Yuri will finish or get finished, you know? And I'm sensing Rakic to just be way more dangerous, look way fucking better, and just chew up Rakic's, or Ankalaev's fucking legs here, you know? I just think it's going to be a masterclass by Rakic. I think we're going to see Ankalaev look way too human, and Rakic, I mean, yes or no, is probably his toughest competition since that Jan Blachowicz fight. And, like, listen, I know Ankalaev is good, yeah, like, I get that. I rate him pretty highly, even as a striker, but, like, 4 years, okay? His competition is Kutalaba, Ozdemir, fair enough, Krylov, you know? Blachowicz, you know? Like, Blachowicz isn't bad. Like, he's top 5 for sure, but I think Rakic is, like, top 4, top 3, okay? I rate Rakic a little higher than Blachowicz. Smith, Thiago Santos, and then in 2 years, he knocked out Johnny Walker. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... I get it, yeah. And I completely understand anyone taking Ankalaev because he is, like, this beast. But I think Rakic is by far his most dangerous opponent in the past 40 years. I don't even think it's close. And I just, like, I have this, you know, it's just one of those MMA gods trying to make it right, you know? And I think to make this right, Rakic has to win. You know, he fought a perfect fight against the homeboy, Yuri Prohaska, and it just wasn't enough, you know? I think if he does even close to that against Ankalaev, finish. Done. Absolutely out of here. Moving on, we got Lerone Murphy versus Dan 50K Ige. This might be another hot take. I might not do well on this card, or I might fucking kill it this card. I'm going with Dan Ige. Lerone Murphy, in my opinion, is just not that good. I think he lost his debut personally. Against, what was his name? Or not his debut. Who was it? Gabriel Santos. That's what it was. It was Gabriel Santos's debut. I think he lost that fight. That's my opinion. Watching that back, I think he lost it. When I watched it live, I thought he lost it. I thought it was a robbery. I was watching it with some of my boys at the time. They also thought it was a robbery. I think he, like, skated away with this victory on Edson Barbosa. I rate Edson Barbosa one of the highest you possibly can in featherweight. I think he's one of the best strikers on the planet. Unfortunately, his brain just wasn't, like, Edson Barbosa didn't throw a single fucking kick in that whole fight. Don't know what was wrong with Edson Barbosa that night. Something was clearly wrong. I think he gets away with that. I'll be honest with you, man. He barely... I know the striking numbers are crazy and everything. Right? I get that. But I think he barely got away with that. Do I think Dan Ige is going to finish Lerone Murphy? No. But Dan Ige is tough as fuck. I think Dan Ige is probably going to tough out a decision here. I think he's going to make Lerone Murphy look like an absolute clown. I think he's going to win 30-27, and he's going to make Lerone Murphy look like he doesn't belong. You know? I know Lerone Murphy here has got a reach and height advantage, but it's not that much. And Dan Ige's, he's getting really good at, like, going in and out, you know? He took fucking, he won a round on Diego Lopez, you know what I mean? That's the type of Dan Ige we're looking at. And then you have to ask yourself, could Lerone get a round on Diego Lopez? No, he'd probably get finished, you know? Moving on. Yeah, I'm picking Dan Ige. Dan 50k Ige. I think he's a G. I think he gets it done. Easy decision. Zero doubt in my mind. I think Lerone Murphy's just way too overrated. Beat Edson Barbosa. Edson was just not on that night, you know? And you can say cope whatever you want. I still think Dan Ige beats Lerone Murphy's ass. Moving on, Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. I know a lot of people are going to be taking Whittaker. And then pretty much everyone taking Chimaev is from a certain part of the world. But this one's tough, man, because Whittaker is coming off that sick KO. I think karma's coming around. I think Robert Whittaker gets it done. I think he wins a 29-28 split decision here. And I think it's going to be Khamzat Chimaev, like, raising his hands thinking he won, everyone thinking that Robert Whittaker won. It's going to be split, everyone clenching their teeth. They're like, oh shit, and Robert Whittaker gets it done. You know, that's how I think this is going to go. Split decision, 29-28. I think Robert Whittaker could finish Khamzat Chimaev, but I think there's going to be a moment where I think one of the rounds Khamzat will get dropped, or it'll at least look like he got dropped. And I think that's an easy Robert Whittaker round. I think Whittaker is probably going to get outworked, maybe in round 1, maybe a round 2. But I think the last round will definitely go to Whittaker for sure. I think Khamzat has a cardio problem. Whittaker, I don't think has a cardio problem. Whittaker's a little bit more dangerous. Like, if we're asking, like, who's dangerous here, it's kind of both of them. Robert Whittaker just doesn't have a great chin, but recently he's been taking damage fairly well. I'm going Robert Whittaker. I think he gets it done by decision. A lot of people are probably going to pick by finish. I'm picking by decision. Moving on, we got Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. If you haven't watched my video already, I'm picking Max Holloway. I am. I still am. I can't pick against him. I know Max Holloway is being predicted by many to get knocked out in this fight. I think this is just going to be Max Holloway doing Max Holloway things. And he's just going to outclass Ilia Topuria. There's only 2 people on this planet that have outclassed Max Holloway, and that was Dustin Poirier on a lightweight first move up for Max Holloway. Belt run, by the way. That was prime Dustin Poirier. Okay. And barely lost that fight. And a Volkanovski. Now, is Ilia Topuria Volkanovski? No. Is he shorter than Max Holloway? Does Max Holloway struggle with shorter opponents? Yes. But Max Holloway, I think at this point in his career, has the most tools in his toolbox. Isn't worried about, like, literally everything in this fight. I have no worries about him. I don't have to worry about the cardio. Don't have to worry about the technique. I don't have to worry about him getting sloppy. All I have to worry about is him getting chinned. And when we're talking about Max Holloway, a guy who got knocked down by Justin Gaethje at lightweight, and that's it, You know what I mean? It's like, I think Max Holloway gets it done. I think Ilia Topuria in this matchup is basically going to be like the shorter Arnold Allen. I think everyone high on Ilia Topuria is going to give Ilia Topuria probably 2 rounds. And give Max 3. But I think the decision will be like a 40 or a 49-48, I think, or a 49-40. What I think it's gonna be 4-1. I think it's gonna be 4 rounds to 1 by the decision card. I just think Max, because we just gotta remember, man, Ilia Topuria, don't get me wrong, is good, great, don't hate him, great personality to have, good for Spain, but like, a lot of people forget that he was losing that Volkanovski fight until the knockout. And I understand that's his plan here. You're not going to be able to do that to Max Holloway. If you're planning on, like, here's the way I put it. If Ilya genuinely goes in, I don't think he actually will do this, but I know he talks about it. So if he genuinely believes he's going to knock out Max Holloway, he's going to give away rounds. Because that's how you got to get the knockout, That's how Ilya's in his fight career is kind of getting these knockouts. He normally gives away one of the rounds, He lost the round to Bryce Mitchell, just saying. But Ilya gives away rounds when he's looking for that knockout, He does it in almost every fight where he's got that knockout. If you're giving rounds to Max Holloway, that's like where he thrives. Like, if you give 1 round to Max Holloway, he will instantly start building off that round. You know what I mean? Like, I can't pick against Max Holloway, I just can't. I'm not doing it, And if Max Holloway gets knocked out, same way Volk does, there's going to be a lot of MMA fans not waking up the next morning, let me tell you. Anyways, yeah, I'm going Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway gets it done. I'm comfortable with him getting it done any way possible, aside from a submission. A lot of people talk about Ilia Topuria's submission game, everything like that. He's not going to go to the ground with Max Holloway. No one does, and I know Max doesn't fight the craziest amount of grapplers, but, I mean, he fought Brian Ortega. People don't go to the ground with Max. I think it's hard to get Max to the ground. I don't think Ilya's going to do it. I can't see that. And I do think Ilya is going to try to keep it standing, and I think he's going to realize real fast. I think this will be Ilya eventually shooting takedowns, but they'll be sloppy. They'll be late into the fight. I'm not worried about these two having cardio issues, but if I am worried about one of them, it's definitely Ilia Topuria. I just think Max is him, I think he gets the belt back and we see Volk versus Max 4, Yeah. No immediate rematch for Ilya. Fuck him. He's gotta earn the featherweight GOAT status, But yeah, I'm rooting for Max. I think Max gets it done. I'm not going to be upset if Ilya gets it done. I like Ilya a lot more now. He's definitely a lot better of a personality now. But I'm just trusting Max Holloway to get it done. I think he gets it done anywhere he wants. And this fight is Max Holloway's to lose. You know what I mean? I think Max just is going to be better in almost every category than Ilya. Other than, I guess, power. But yeah, I do think the weight cut is a little concerning, considering he was just at lightweight, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's my predictions. I don't bet, don't gamble, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'm excited for this card. Definitely looking like one of the best of the year. Could be the best of the year. Fight of the night probably is going to be Ilya Max, let's be honest. Could be fight of the year at this point. We'll see what happens. But yeah, with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching. As always, I hope you have a great day.